Team Leopard's second question asks, what are some culturally relevant questions we should know about when trying to develop a marketing strategy in South Africa compared to one in America? An excellent question, one that's very relevant, that needs to be asked. And I think two things stick in my head. I think your American youth, through I think your standard of living generally, have greater access to data and greater access to fast internet and limitless internet. That's just my gut marketed in America, so that I'm doing a bit of guesswork here, but one I think I'm right in saying. The other and it's not to say that South Africans aren't on social media. So social media is massive with the South African youth. I would say perhaps even bigger than the American youth. If I could look at a study from 2016, for example, South Africans in general are spending 2.7 hours per day on social media, whereas people in the United States are spending 1.7 hours per day on average. I think this is possibly because South Africans spend so much time in public transport. I think, and waiting for public transport, being in public transport, you have greater time for social media. So that possibly comes into it. So that is one thing. And how that influences marketing is that I think video content is still going to take off massively in my particular market in South Africa. In the next 12 months, I'm going to spend quite a lot more on video because I want to be ahead of the curve there, particularly with your township markets. I think playing video, obviously, as we know, uses up data. And I'd like to see more video from MSC, and we're going to create more video content as we go. So I think that's one thing. The other thing I would say is the language barrier. I think in the United States, I think this is guesswork, but I would say the vast majority of the population are English first language. In South Africa, that is actually the opposite. The vast majority of the population isn't English first language. I think it's very small. But English is generally accepted as the platform for business and general communication, public communication. So we educate in English, we advertise in English, we're an English, obviously English institution like all the others. But this poses a challenge in marketing because much of my particular market, your township-based market, have been brought up in schools and in their home life, learning or using their home African language, whether it's Zulu or Tswane or Xhosa, whatever it might be. And now you're marketing to them in English. So what this means is your marketing messages and your marketing copywriting needs to be very simplified. You can't have nuances. You can't be too clever with your marketing. You need to create marketing material, marketing messages. Even your campaigns which require user participation have to be so simple that the market gets it. They understand. Okay, I have to do this. One of the things I've tried and failed is where it gets a little bit too technical to enter a competition, for example. And it's not about it's purely a language thing. And so your marketing efforts and marketing communication has to be very simple, and I think that is another cultural difference.